And this episode of Redonkulous.com brought to you by Reconnaissance Man from Aaron Clary. Links below. It's Bad Popp here, but I got some good news for you. Life can be pretty cool at times. This is a response to a question that was asked of me about a year and a half ago. And that question was,
what are some of the best things you've done with your life? What are some of those Mantastic moments?
This is my list, not your list. Your list could be completely different. But we're not here to talk about you, so fuck off. Edit that out. Winning. Yeah. When you finally achieve the fully stocked man cave that has the Xbox flat screen computer and kegerator, couch, futon for the fights with your wife, the entire house should be your man cave if you're paying the bills. Good times. Used to spank it in the basement before you got married, and you're spanking it in the basement now. Winning new. But hey, forget the cuddling. Another Mantastic moment is buying a house that you have your own gun range in your backyard. Just walk out the back door onto the deck and throw some lead. Word of warning, if you're in the city or the suburbs and you do this, you're gonna get the hard knock and the silver bracelets and taken to jail, just saying.
I'll go, ooh, dude, my mom's gonna kill me.
But you dudes in Texas, winning. Or you 5 dudes in Wyoming because you got nothing else to do out there. Why? Oming? Every dude out there at some point in their lifetime runs into what they're looking for and they gawk at it. And this can be completely different for every individual out there. But for me, it was finding the perfect set of tits. Yeah. Some of you might like getting the perfect set of ass. You've never been happier and dumber at the same time because that small head's doing all your thinking. You can appreciate those dials and pegs and the good booty, but don't you dare write a check against it. Simply because it looks nice. 5 years down the road, you're gonna finally open the hood and see there's nothing in there but stupid. Now, this particular one is for me. Having a sports car that'll do a quarter mile in 8 seconds or less. Winning. It could be a rental. You just pay the insurance and do donuts until you break the transmission. Or a speedboat, or anything else that can take you from 0 to 6 feet under in about 5 seconds. Here's another one. Pulling in that trophy fish while you're deep sea fishing. I wasn't on a boat like in Jaws. I was in the water spear fishing and that sucker was big. This isn't big like dudes claim it's big. This is big like you can barely drag it out of the water big.
That's what she said.
This is totally mantastic. It doesn't have to be fishing. It has to be whatever you want to do. Say you're into hunting.
Don't move. Huge buck right under. No, he's running away.
And this one I really liked. Having that first beer when you get to the summit. Ah, satisfying. You don't have to like climbing. Hell, I don't even like climbing. But hey, when you're in the Army and they say get to the top, that's exactly what you do. If you don't like doing it, there's some satisfaction in just getting it done. But make sure you keep that beer cold and don't let your battalion commander see you drinking it.
What is that? What the f*** is that?
Another one, and I particularly like this one, and I've done it quite a few times, is holding up a trophy after defeating a worthy opponent. I know a lot of you out there think I'm just a loudmouth preaching a bunch of shit up here, but back in the day, I was pretty formidable. I know you're thinking that's just Popp tooting his own horn, but hey, your mama liked it. If you ever do anything and you're the last man standing while you're doing it, there's something said about you and it's good. This doesn't have to be like a tough man or kickboxing situation. It could be anything as long as you can get to the end and hobble across the finish line. Not that I know anything about this, but being the last man standing at a Mexican standoff, pretty good. All right, here's another one, and this one might not go over with some of you guys out there, but it's like surviving the impossible or cheating death. I've been in some pretty hairy situations, and some of them are so dire, I literally had the cold breath of death on the back of my neck. But I picked up the pace and cheated them. Not everyone out there is an adrenaline junkie like me. I got it, but it could really be anything. You don't even have to go looking for this, because sometimes it finds you. Like you're flying across the Atlantic and you hit a thunderhead. People be floating in the air screaming, and you're going, what the hell is going on? This is bad. This is bad. Like, yeah, it's bad. All right, I've seen this one time in my life, and I actually want to replicate it. and I want to have a fire pole that goes down in my living room right to the couch. Winning. Every day would be like Ghostbusters in the old movie, not the new one. The new one sucks. This doesn't have to be strictly a feel-good thing. It can do other things. Like you invite that perfect set of tits into your house and make her spin on it like a stripper pole. Now listen, this might not apply to a lot of people, but hey, you get a fortune and it feels great like you're at the top of the summit just going, yeah! And then you lose it. In my case, many times. I'll go watch some Space Ghost. Fuck! You want to talk about highs and lows, you just gain and lose a couple of fortunes. And guess what? You'll be drinking yourself to sleep every night like me. Winning. Scuba dive with sharks. I know you guys are out there like, Pop's just blowing steam, thinking he's all macho and wants to brag that he swam with sharks. Well, I did, and it wasn't on purpose. You got your scuba gear on, you're out past the reef in the Gulf of Aqaba in the Red Sea, you're doing some stuff, you turn around, and as far as you can see, it's a school of hammerheads swimming by. You're scared for a minute, then you're like, hey, they're not trying to eat me. After you're done shitting your pants, it's pretty cool. You might want to take a shower when you get done because crapping in a wetsuit kind of seals in the flavor, if you know what I mean. Banging that perfect 10 is usually a once-in-a-lifetime thing, unless you have a shit ton of money. If you have that much money, they're just throwing themselves at you like hail in a hailstorm. For the rest of us, you soak it all in and you record it right in here into your spank bank. This chick was from Iceland, platinum blonde, and guess what? The carpet matched the drapes. She was my height, ice blue eyes, and I felt embarrassed to even stand in her shadow. And if you can have that kind of embarrassment, it's a win here. And don't leave any pussy on the table. You do what I did. I tore that stuff up from the floor up and down. And then I got on a plane and flew away. Winning! If you have a plane for an exfil, you don't have to leave it in Section 8 housing. You just abandon it on the roadside and the tow trucks will take it back home.
Where'd he go?
Like, I'm out of here. It was fun, but oh shit, I'm not marrying you. This next one, everyone out there can identify with this point. So say you lose something, it's a high dollar value item, and you go crazy. You're gonna rip your house up looking for it. In fact, you're gonna do it so thoroughly, it'll look like the DEA was in there ripping apart looking for drugs. But when you find it, you're gonna go, oh God. The relief is astounding. When you finally do it, you're on top of the world. I was in a marina in scuba gear underwater with a metal detector and I found not one but 2 Rolex watches. Winning! Now a lot of guys out there, you can relate to this. You're paying forever on a house or a car, alimony or child support. And when you write that last check, it's like an orgasm to your wallet. Winning! How much I owe you? Oh. Ugh. And for you guys out there paying alimony and child support, there's light at the end of the tunnel, trust me. And when you get to that light at the end of the tunnel, it's a winning for you and a losing for her. Check out the long game. This one here is for all you dudes out there that are self-employed. You put that time into a business where it becomes self-sufficient and pays you, you've become your own master. Winning. And for everyone out there in corporate America, guess what? They got your ass until you're 65. If you think you're gonna rip off a piece of the American dream working for Comcast, guess again. If you work for the devil and you actually expect him to keep his promises, you got another thing coming. Then he'll bend you over and put it right in your butt crack, if you know what I'm talking about. Prove them wrong. And anyone who's ever been to their 10-year reunion, especially if you were a geek in school, you get to see the train wreck up close. Winning! Because I walked in there and I saw all the dudes that were popular back in high school. Now they got pot bellies and they're bald like Klingons and their wives are cackling bitches that are sucking the soul right out of them. And I just looked back and went, karma. Karma in reality are some harsh ass bitches with 14-inch steel strap-ons. So for the past 30 years, I've sat back and watched. And they have taught people some harsh lessons. And this one appeals to the hunter-gatherer who's inside all of us. You either hunt it or find it or both. You skin it, you put it in a pot, or you cook it however it is and you eat it all and you don't waste any of it because you did it yourself. And I know some of you special snowflakes out there are gonna go,
Oh, that's so barbaric, Pop. It's horrible.
This isn't food! It's violence!
but guess what? Once you've done this, you actually appreciate where your goddamn food came from.
The meat comes from an animal? I get it, it's shrink wrapped. Just not like that on the tree? Why isn't it red? It's supposed to be red.
Next one is bang the prom queen. Now me in high school, it didn't happen. In fact, I couldn't even get close to her because I was a twiny twerp. I didn't have no game. I didn't play the game. I didn't even know how it worked. But it didn't work with multi-sided dice, so I said, F it. You know you're a geek when your dice has more than 6 sides. But once I joined the army and I got my man strength, totally different game. I banged 2 at the same time. Wait, no, I'm just with you. I banged 2 of them, but they weren't at the same time, and I was 20 and 21. This next one, I know everyone out there has experienced this at least once, but you find the strength and the character to excommunicate toxic people from your lives. As you get older, you're gonna lose your patience for stupidity. And you're gonna see some of your friends doing the same mistakes over and over and over again, and they're trying to loop you into it. You realize, like, what the hell am I hanging out with this loser for? He's going nowhere. He owes me money. Get out of my life. Ain't got no time for that. The moment when you realize that your life has become a story well worth reading. There's many ways to make your life a story well worth reading. And one of them is achieve the impossible goal. Sometimes you can be the right dude in the wrong place at the wrong time. That guy who got stuck in the canyon with his arm under a rock, he cut that shit off and walked his ass out. And sometimes it's going against the impossible odds and saying, hey, I'm gonna do it anyway. And you do it. It could be that guy who has Down syndrome and everyone tells him, well, you can't really be a doctor. And he does it. You guys out there who are living that mediocre vanilla bean life and you're beat down by those social justice warriors, it doesn't have to be that way. It's just getting up after you've been knocked down one more time and you win. I was a twerp in high school. I was like this big and I weighed like $130. 5 years later, I had a combat drop in Panama. I was an airborne ranger. I was going to college and I was kicking the shit out of people in the ring in front of thousands of people for money. What I'm trying to tell you is your story, it can change real quick if you want it to. And you can turn your life into a story well worth reading. The more you know. F I'm gonna watch Space Ghost. Now listen, gentlemen, I want to hear some of your Mantastic moments, comments below. And speaking of Mantastic moments, check out Reconnaissance Man from Aaron Clary. Links below. After you purchase that book, you'll probably have some change. So why don't you throw it our way so we can keep doing this? We really love doing these fan submission shows. So send us the links to the articles, stories, videos, or whatever you want us to tackle, and we'll probably do it. While we're at it, please hit the subscribe button, because if you do, I'll give you the number to a prom queen that'll bang you.
Just make sure you double bag it.
You better double bag it, because she's been living off that for 30 years now. Yeah, I know you're like the hottest chick I've ever banged, but you know, hey, Space Ghost is coming on and I gotta jump into Germany in 16 hours, so I'll see you later. Since I've been on some aircraft where people like floated in the air, or it turned so hard some dude literally went and stuck to the side of the aircraft. It's like, ah! Like, put your seatbelt on! I take my blood pressure. Pills and beer.
His blood pressure pills. There's a Mantastic.
Yeah! Flag moment here. You just caught me taking blood pressure medicine with my beer.